Now, today we are going to be talking about Anthony Bennett. Yes, we all know he is one of the biggest busts in the NBA, but people don't really know the full story. See, the dude was actually kind of good for a while, and really wasn't labeled a bust until the second year of his career. And they don't really know the journey he took to get to be, well, what he is today. G League legend. So, yeah, we're going to get into the start. High school. Now, I couldn't find that much on the dude in high school, but I could find a little bit on him in college. Now, the dude was a solid college player, averaging around 16 points per game. I will flash his stats up on the screen in a little bit, but these highlights I'm watching, from what I can see, he's really just a solid dunker and he can shoot. That's about it. So, I don't really get what all the hype around this dude was. But in 2013, I was in 3rd grade, mostly focused on different things, not really basketball. So I didn't even know who this dude was until I started getting really interested in basketball, which was about a year later. And I didn't hear about Anthony Bennett until 2015. So he had already been cut multiple times and labeled a bust. But the dude's pretty good in college. These are his college stats. Averaging around 16.1 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, and 1 assist per game. Now, as you can see, the dude doesn't exactly have the most impressive college stats. There are guys on the Pacers. I'm pretty sure our 2nd round draft pick has these same numbers, so they're just not all that. And now, we have the place that Anthony spent 2 seasons in, Cleveland. And now, like I said, he spent 2 seasons there. And he wasn't really labeled a bust until his 2nd season, because in his 1st season, even though he only averaged 4 points per game, people still had hope. People said there have been guys who were picked high before and they didn't average that good stats because it was their rookie year and they weren't used to the league. So, maybe he's better, maybe he's improved. Well, we all know what happened. He didn't really turn out to be all that much. But the highlights that are happening right here are from a 16-point game 4th quarter. Now, as you can see, our next stop is Minnesota. After the Cavaliers, he went to Minnesota. And really didn't do much there either. This was really when he was labeled a bust. And really just lost all his hype. But he was still popular among fans, but only because he was a bust. So, he just really never amounted to much in Minnesota. But some believers still had hope. Some people still said, maybe it's just a team. Well, we would soon find out. It wasn't just the team. Our next and one of our final stops is Brooklyn. And as of December 15th, 2018, this is the last NBA pro team he played on, the Brooklyn Nets. And you know you're really bad when you get cut from the Brooklyn Nets, whose best player at this time was an old, aging Brook Lopez. It was before they had D'Angelo. It was before they had their draft picks back. Just terrible Brooklyn. Terrible. And then finally, where he's at today, the Clippers D-League team. Now, he's been working his way up from the Clippers D-League team. Clippers are thinking about bringing him up, I heard. But still, the dude is in the G League. He was a 1st overall pick, and then he's here. Where overall pick busts go to die. Now, he's doing pretty good, but we've seen guys do good in the G League that just don't translate to the NBA. It's the same thing as college. You're playing against lower level guys that haven't been in the NBA. Or if they were, they weren't that good. So we just don't know what's going to come of Anthony Bennett at this time. Some people want him to do good, some people don't. It just depends on what you think about him. And he's really just been at the bottom for these past few years. Actually, I was wrong. He only was on Cleveland for a season. As you see, in Cleveland he averaged 4.2 points. Then, in Minnesota, he averaged 5.2. Where it says TOR, that's Toronto. Couldn't really find that much on him in Toronto because of how bad he was. He averaged 1.5 points. And then in Brooklyn, he would have his second best season, averaging 5 points per game. Until he comes back, if he ever comes back to the league, his overall statistics are 4.4 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, and 0.5 assists per game. Really, the dude isn't that bad. I mean, if you make the NBA, you're just good in general, no matter if you're on the end of the bench or one of the All-Stars. You just have the potential. But in Anthony Bennett's case, when you're taken the first overall, and you don't succeed, you're going to be hated on your entire career, even if you end up having a solid career. It's just the reality of being a number 1 overall pick. It's just sad that teams can't pick a guy and who they think is good, but it just turns out to be a bust, like Anthony Bennett. And it's sad to see them not succeed, but it's just the reality of the league. It's a machine. It's always moving. It's always working. And sometimes it can just pass you by. That's it. See you guys next time.